Greetings, my dear friends and time-trusted food companions. I'm in remarkably high spirits as I look forward to the cooking adventure we're about to embark on today. This recipe has all the potential to become your new top of the heap. Once again, welcome to Azerbaijan, with its majestic landscape and mountain peaks soaring into the sky. What we need for this recipe is plenty of vegetables, as I'm making a rib-sticking vegetable stew with eggplants, tomatoes, peppers, and, most importantly, a fistful of fresh herbs. In other words, welcome to ajapsandali, a famous Georgian dish whose very name is as zesty and flavorful as the dish itself. Ajapsandali is a beloved dish across the entire Caucasus region and also appears in the traditional cuisines of some Turkic nations, including Azerbaijan. Although it's often associated with Georgian cuisine, that connection makes perfect sense when we look back at its origins. Georgians believe the dish was invented by mountain shepherds. They would char eggplants over an open fire, then mash them into a puree, adding herbs and spices. This spread could be preserved for a long time, allowing the shepherds to have dinner while tending to their flocks. As we dive deeper into the art of making ajapsandali, make sure you've subscribed to the channel and hit the bell icon so you won't miss gems like this episode. Give us a thumbs up and let's get started. Classic ajapsandali recipe includes eggplants, tomatoes, peppers, onions, garlic, coriander, and basil, but every region has its twist. Stick to the basics, add your flair, and it'll still rock your plate. I've gathered everything I need for my version of ajapsandali. Now, when I say my version of ajapsandali, I'm talking about this beautiful cut of lamb, which will wonderfully complement the vegetable medley, enhancing the entire flavor profile of the dish and transforming its taste into rich, buttery delight. The popularity of ajapsandali in Azerbaijan could very well have a connection with the Georgian community in Azerbaijan, particularly in regions like Zaqatala, where significant numbers of ethnic Georgians have lived for centuries. If you enjoy scrumptious and educational content like what the Wilderness Cooking offers, be sure to check out our Instagram page to make your life more joyful and meaningful. Due to ajapsandali's popularity across various regions, its recipe can be enriched with many additions, making it like a blank canvas, perfect for recipe-averse cooks, if you know what I mean. No one is getting canceled for making ajapsandali wrong. In the end, depending on the region and the cook, the stew might even wobble with carrots and potatoes. What's most important when making ajapsandali is to add chopped herbs at different stages of cooking. This ensures the dish's multi-layered freshness. Whenever it comes to lamb, you can be 99% sure that I'll be using the lamb tail fat. Honestly, I can't imagine cooking lamb without it. I've become so accustomed to its constant presence in every dish. The reason for my addiction lies with its indispensable and unique taste. It transforms any dish into savory conquest for your taste buds, coating each ingredient with buttery and smoky flavor. So, I'm going to play a tricky game here by roasting the lamb in its own fat, rendering it with smoky undertones and enhancing its natural flavor. If we explore the regional variations from the country where this dish originated, we'll uncover even more authentic options. In Kakheti, locals drizzle piping hot bowls of vegetable stew with unrefined sunflower oil, whose sesame-like scent, paired with cilantro and garlic, knocks your socks off. Meanwhile, in Imereti, people enjoy a relish-like version of ajapsandali served chilled alongside grilled meat. Now let's toss in the lamb and give it a good roast. We don't need to cook it through completely, as I want the lamb to develop its flavor while simmering with the veggies. The roasted lamb will enhance the flavor profile of the dish. My friends, I know how many of you want to carry a piece of the wilderness cooking with you on your personal cooking journeys. Well, now that dream can come true. Head over to our shop right now and grab a t-shirt or hoodie with the wilderness cooking merch. We've got high-quality designs that every cooking enthusiast will love, so don't miss out. You just need to scan the QR code, and you have your favorite wilderness cooking merch on the way to you. Aubergines are key ingredients in this dish, as they help create a creamy, earthy base for ajapsandali. I'd even say that gooey texture is what makes it truly special. Now, as I mentioned earlier, every cook has their own extra ingredients to add to the stew. As for me, I like to include green beans. And here's why. First, I love how their vibrant greens pop against the grayish and rosy hues. Second, they add a unique texture to the dish and enhance it with subtle nutty flavors. As I chop away at these veggies, I want to take a moment to appreciate how this dish embodies the heart of Caucasus cuisine, a cuisine as diverse as the landscapes and cultures that shape it. From the sun-kissed valleys of Georgia to the bustling markets of Azerbaijan, ajapsandali has become an important part of national heritage, uniting people across borders and cultures. I believe my passion for cooking stems from the understanding that food has the incredible power to bring people together. When I serve dinner to my guests, I love watching from the sidelines as they enjoy the meal and engage in conversations. The pleasure they take in the food creates a warm, comforting atmosphere, allowing them to connect and get to know one another better. It's pure magic. Culinary history is filled with dishes that became internationally recognized despite their humble beginnings. Take French ratatouille, for example. It originated in the kitchens of peasants and villagers, eventually earning global fame. Similarly, ajapsandali is a perfect example of how a simple rustic dish can evolve and adapt while still remaining true to its roots and gaining new layers of flavor. Want more deliciousness? Follow The Wilderness Cooking on Instagram for all the latest updates, recipes, and behind-the-scenes fun. Don't miss out. Hit that follow button now. What's fascinating about Georgia is how food and wine are treated as true celebrations of life. It's no surprise that this flavorful dish came from this region. In Georgia, meals are celebrated through a tradition called supra, where every feast is led by a toastmaster, and each toast honors life, love, and friendship. Isn't that wonderful? All right, time to kick things off by building the base for our ajapsandali. First, we're layering those tender chunks of roasted lamb right at the bottom of the pot, then topping it with onions. Now, placing the meat at the bottom isn't just a random choice. It's all about the heat. The fire hits it faster, and as it cooks, the lamb and onions meld together, developing flavor that rises up, infusing everything else. It's almost like a little culinary math lesson. Timing is everything. To get this just right, you've got to think ahead. Now let's add a generous handful of salt and a little bit of lamb fat for richness. Next in goes the rest of the meat. Layering the ajapsandali this way, all snug and close together, allows those flavors to develop into something truly incredible. After a few hours of slow cooking, trust me, you're going to be blown away by how deep and rich everything becomes. This is what makes all the patience worthwhile. We're cooking for about 2 to 3, letting it slowly simmer over medium heat. You want everything to become soft, tender, and fully infused with those beautiful flavors. If you've become a fan of ajapsandali by now, don't forget to hit that subscribe button, like, and tap the bell icon. That way, you'll always be the first to know when I'm back with something new and delicious. Trust me, you won't want to miss it. Honestly, I've got so many ideas for upcoming episodes that sometimes I feel like my brain is going to explode. I keep track of them all, but you know that feeling when an idea strikes and suddenly you're just fired up with excitement? Those are the moments I live for. It's like holding a cup of hot goodness in your hands, and your thoughts just float off, way up in the hills. Let's check in on our simmering friend in the pot. Now, I totally get it. This is what real ajapsandali smells like. The aroma hits you, and you can't help but inhale deeply. It's so fragrant, so rich. Can a smell be so good that it makes you lose track of reality? It's completely delusional, in the best way possible. All right, folks, the moment we've all been waiting for. Let's dig in and see how this beauty turned out. Look at that meat. It's sliced down like it's been defeated after hours of slow cooking, falling apart into the most tender pieces. It's practically begging to be eaten, and that's exactly what we're going to do. Wow, just wow. This is one of those times where the flavors hit you and you can't even find words at first. The lamb, with its tender, juicy texture, absorbed all those spices and juices, giving you a bite that's so flavorful, it's almost unreal. Then there's the richness from the lamb fat, the sweetness from the onions, and the depth of the slow-cooked vegetables. It's a flavor explosion you never see coming. If this dish could talk, it would tell you that all your patience paid off in spades.
Super.
You've got to try this at least once in your life. It's an experience you won't forget. What can I say, except that this went way beyond my expectations. I've had Georgian food, I've had Caucasus cuisine, but this takes it to a whole new level. It's an experience that leaves you speechless, in awe. Trust me, you need to make this at least once. It's one of those dishes that you'll crave long after it's gone. Thanks for sticking with me through this delicious adventure. I hope you're inspired enough to head straight to your kitchen and try it out for yourself. Until the next culinary adventure, keep cooking and keep enjoying good food. Until next time.
Kanalımıza destek olmak istəyirsinizsə, onlayn mağazamızdan xüsusi bıçaq və ya taxta qablarımızı əldə edə bilərsiniz. Mağazanın linki videonun altındakı təsvirdə var. Super!